Hey everybody, it's Kelly and I'm back with this month's product placement video, which is a series I do with Rachel Reynolds. We choose one supply and we try to use it on our layouts or use as much as we can in our layouts. This month we're doing brads. That's how I store my brads. And that blank space in that little cubby was the brads that I used up. So I went through and I found some brads that I thought I wanted to use, and I had all these brads, old basic gray brads from a Christmas collection that I was never going to use up because they were sitting in my brads versus with my Christmas stuff. So I grabbed those out and then went in search. I knew I had a couple Christmas photos left from last year, and this is one with my grandsons and dad enjoying their presents from their stockings. So I just grabbed those, and then I grabbed other things that went with those brads, other colors that worked with them. And I decided to do a border, a frame around that piece of paper. So that striped paper, all the papers actually here are from American Crafts. They're from a very old collection though, so I don't know what the name of that collection is anymore. And then you just saw me place one of the brads on the left side there. What I'm trying to do is get a measurement so that when I cut this mat, I cut it to the right size. Is what I'm doing. Then I took that cut apart from Simple Stories there, and it just says December 25th, December documented. I'll use that for just a tiny bit of journaling there. And if you can tell this, I'm hoping you can tell this, but that is very, very cream based, whereas all of the papers here are very white based. But I have brads here that are both white and cream. So in order for that cream of the brads to look intentional, I wanted to use that journaling card to help bring that all together. So that's why that is. So you don't want to stick one cream or one white thing on a layout because it won't look intentional, but this way it does. So I'm going to use that Christmas word paper as a background here, but I want to border that so that it stops it so the words aren't falling off. So I'm taking that peppermint paper and I'm just going to put it behind, and horror of horrors, I'm going to glue that word paper right on top of a full sheet. But you guys, this paper is probably, I don't know, 5 years old. Well, maybe not. Yeah, maybe 5 years old. It's time for me to get rid of it. And I had a bunch of it, plus I had a 12 by 12 paper pad, and it seriously was time for me to use it up. I've been really trying to work on using up my Christmas stash and not buy so much every year. And I still love this paper. I mean, how cool. I love how this turned out. You know, that blue paper, because it's light, is a really nice sort of relief from the busyness of that white paper. And then I'm just going to put this down so that frame is even. And then I'm going to put the blue paper down right below the word fa la 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 la, so that there's like full words there, I guess is the best way. And then right on the bottom to the left there, it says do not open until December 25th, which is appropriate because this story is about the boys' stockings, or one of the items in the boys' stockings. Okay. All right. So then I'm grabbing my pokey tool there and my foam pad, which I actually stamp on as well, but it's a good way to keep from poking through my mat on my desk. And then what I'm doing here is I'm putting down the big brads first, and also like getting something on my iPad, something I'm watching. Because I'll start with the big brads and then position the smaller brads around them as well. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm looking at size, I'm looking at color, I'm looking at fabric versus metal, I'm looking at some of the like brad families there, I guess. So, you know, like I don't want two of those green polka dot ones in the same place, or like the white, more fabric ones that you haven't seen, or the blue corduroy ones. You know, I don't want those all on the same side or anything like that. And this is really nice because there's blue, green, red in the background. So it's bringing all those colors now to the foreground of those spots here. And in the end, when I lay these out, I laid them out pretty well. I only ended up adding one really tiny small green brad on the bottom left when I actually went through and laid these all out. So I'll spoil it for you. I'm not going to make you watch me poke all these, but I'm just kind of letting you watch me lay them out. And again, looking at color, looking at size, all those kinds of things, and just trying to make sure that makes sense, and trying to be more random about it. Like sometimes there's two big brads next to each other, sometimes there's not. There's, you know, the gingham ones are next to the corduroy ones sometimes, and sometimes they're next to another different one. And then what I'm doing here is I'm kind of I needed to add a couple more brads in there because I didn't have quite enough chosen. I used 43 brads up doing this. 43, guys. Like I said, I used up all the Christmas brads so on this layout, and I put major dents in, I think, the gingham. I think I have one blue left and a couple yellow. The green polka dot ones, those were the last ones of those. Put a huge dent on those, the fabric ones with like the blue and green patterns on them. That was pretty exciting. Trying to think if there's anything else. It was really fun to do this. I have some other ideas about how I could use brads up. I do need to do something about my stash of mini brads. And I did have, see those piles of mini brads? I have those there in case once I started poking, I needed to get some down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in one of the big brads on each side. So what that'll do is that will give me a place to start everything. And through the magic of editing, I'm going to show you this here. I'm getting those big brads down. And what I did is I just pushed them off to the side. I did take a picture of them just in case I messed something up first, and just popped it on so that it would sit on my tablet in front of me. And now I'm just going to put one of those brads on, because once I get the big one in, or one brad from each side, then I can start adding them in, and I know everything will land okay in the end. So through the magic of photo editing, there they are, and everything but this very last one is done. So I'm putting that little gingerbread man in. I like the mix of fabric, metal here, and epoxy, and there I showed you them. So now when I was poking things in, somehow I shifted the journaling card and it's not straight. So I went back and I found this thing that says Favorite Tradition from Elle Studio. It's a cut apart, and I'm just popping it on there. And then here's my title. It's going to be Such Fun, and that is the Glitter Alpha is from American Crafts Thickers. It's the Cherish Alpha in red. And by the way, for the Christmas papers, I don't remember what the name of that collection is. It's too old. I don't remember anymore. I did cut down some of these letters because the font is mixed. But like that H would have been really, really tall. So I just cut it off a little bit. So this was a really, really fun layout to do. And I made a huge dent in my brad stash. So yay. I love that Rachel and I are doing this series. It's been really fun to explore one product. And just using up those little arrows there. Kind of looking to see if I can use any stickers or anything here. And here's some chipboard from Elle Studio. I'm thinking I want a little bit of dimension to the side here on that journaling card because there's so much dimension with the brads. I was going to put that star on there that I just put down, that green star, but in just a second I'll pull that up. Felt like too much. I just wanted a little. So I pulled that up, and now I just have that one star there. And then what I did is I cut another piece of that, I cut a piece of that striped paper, and I'm just going to place it over the back of this so that the brads don't poke into any other layout. I don't normally do that, but I did in this particular case because there are so many of them, and I was really worried that they would poke through. So here's a still shot and a couple of detail shots. Hope you guys are all well, and make sure you go to Rachel's Layout. I will put the link in the description below. Bye!